Working with real human bones is what 11th and 12th grade anatomy and physiology class did to take their college-like test. To give students a better understanding and knowledge of the bones, Ms. Pasner tried this approach. She said it was for a good reason.
It's easier for them to relate to the bones when they can actually see them, hold them up to themselves, and it's easier to remember.
Instead of having to do a standard test with bubbling and scantrons, Ms. Pasner had unique techniques. She had the bones laid out on the desks for students to identify. However, they were timed. Student Nika Aliyeva thought this was a better idea.
When you go back and forth and you confuse yourself between the questions and the answers and all of it, it's just too confusing. And it's better this way because you get to concentrate on one question instead of, want to look at the other one right away.
Despite the 1-minute time limit per question, students were expected to do well. As they left for their next class, they left with not only the knowledge, but the physical perception of these bones. Brittany Bain, WCIA News. Once again, Ms. Pavsner's anatomy and physiology class took a stab at some hands-on dissecting. Now at their third dissection of the year, cow eyes was what was dissected. Since Ms. Pasner seemed to enjoy this lesson the most, she discussed why.
The cow eye is my favorite dissection because you can really see all of the parts, every single structure in the eye. There's nothing microscopic that you need to really see. And on top of that, it's really squirty, so everyone really appreciates it because it's kind of gross.
Now, as usual, this anatomy class used the necessary safety precautions needed to dissect. Although this dissection was said to be gross, many students appreciated the experience, including seniors Marissa McLean and Kirsty Tansey.
Dissection is very interesting and educational.
It was kind of nasty, but I learned a lot of stuff I didn't know before.
For their third dissection of the year, it seemed to be an overall exciting experience. However, this anatomy class won't stop here. Ms. Pavsner will have her class dissecting more on pigs in the future. Brittany Bain, WCIA News. Once again, Ms. Pavsner's anatomy and physiology class took a stab at some hands-on dissecting. At this particular dissection, the hearts of fetal pigs was what made this gut-wrenching lesson interesting. Many students expressed their feelings, including one of Ms. Pavsner's junior students, David.
Well, I think the heart was the easiest because it was less attached to the sides of the pig.
Like many of the children were timed. Goggles were worn, yada yada yada. You already know the drill. However, this particular dissection was ironic because just a few days away from Valentine's Day, Ms. Pavsner had her students chopping hearts.
The reason why we're dissecting hearts so close to Valentine's Day is it just happened to fall there. The good news is they get to do some before Valentine's Day. We're going to do our pig heart before Valentine's Day. Now when we come back after Valentine's Day, we're actually going to do a sheep heart where they can really see all of the structures. So it's kind of sandwiched in between.
Now at their fourth dissection of the year, the students have so much more to look forward to. While Ms. Pavsner keeps her students on their toes for what they'll do next, we'll keep you posted from right here in the classroom. Brittany Bain, WCIA News.
Connective tissue, which includes your adipose tissue, your fat. You've got your extrinsic muscle.
Anatomy and physiology students were presented with a creative assignment, dissecting a cow's eye. Why a cow's eye, teacher of the class, Ms. Pasner?
Well, when you're doing the cow eye, you can really see it because it's big compared to a pig's eye, which is really tiny.
About 25 students eagerly ready to go. Well, not everyone's eager. For example, Lakina Campbell didn't like this assignment.
I don't like this assignment because we have to cut into an eyeball, which I think is very disgusting, and I'm scared that something might splash on me.
On the other hand, Nastasia Beckford thought the assignment was really exciting.
It's fun and it's exciting, and it doesn't have to deal with bookwork and all of that.
The groups of two worked as a cooperative group. The science step pays about $4 for each eye, but the value of this experience is worth the cost. Katricia Augustave, WCIA News.
Mrs. Pavsner's anatomy and physiology class endured quite a gut-wrenching lesson this month, dissecting fetal pig brains. Before their test on the nervous system, Ms. Pavsner had them do this hands-on lesson instead of regular bookwork assignments. She said it was a better technique.
That way you can compare what you're learning in the book and seeing what it actually is in reality.
To safely prepare for dissection, students wore safety goggles and latex gloves to prevent any irritation. Although the students were protected, some still experienced discomfort. Student Jessica Mason had strong feelings.
I thought it was just so disgusting, especially when Tia took the brain out and then she squeezed it out and then she pulled it and ripped it. It was just nasty. But I'm just doing this for a grade.
Using different utensils like scissors and scalpels, students were timed. As they worked diligently to dissect their pigs, they concluded the dissection with the mandatory pig diary. To express and summarize their assignment, Brittany Bain, WCIA News.